My name is Scylla, and today we're going to be covering a topic that has actually been done a lot already, but I wanted to try and get more in depth and just cover as many things as possible rather than what I actually carry in my bag. It's just a generalization of things that are a good idea, things that you wouldn't normally think about bringing. Obviously, there's going to be stuff that you can't leave without, but for the most part, they're things that are easily forgettable. You're walking out the door, you're not really thinking that you're going to need this thing later. So let's go ahead and start with the big three that nobody really ever leaves without: keys, phone, and wallet. By far the most important things. Don't leave your house without them, period. Next, I don't know if this has ever been a problem for anyone, but also most importantly, your bag itself. You don't want to forget that and leave that behind by accident. So you're also going to want to bring a smaller bag to put in that bag. Something like this, just to hold the little tiny things that you don't want taking up space in your purse, because nobody likes digging through 1,000 items just to find the one little thing that they need. And regardless of if you wear makeup or not, you're probably going to want to bring a compact, some powder, and a small comb for your hair or your wig. Either one. A comb is always helpful. If you're wearing makeup and you know you're going to be dressed up all day and it's really hot outside, or you're going to a con or something, you just want to try and find little tiny things that are manageable, little travel sized things just to touch it up. Obviously, if you're wearing lipstick, you're going to want to bring that along because there's a good chance that you might be eating. Also, if you're wearing eyelashes, I would suggest you always bring an extra pair and some eyelash glue. Maybe if you don't need it, some other girl will. So, 3 other tools that I suggest are some Q-tips, tweezers, and a nail file. Just in case you break a nail, let's assume it's your real nail, and you're wearing a dress, it's chiffon, it's very delicate fabric. It just takes one little swipe and oh my god, my dress. Oh my god. So it's very important. If you're wearing glasses, lens wipes are always good, and mint and gum is also very good. Nobody wants to go to a meetup with bad breath. If you are a germaphobe, some hand sanitizer with a really cutesy smell might make you feel a lot more safer. Speaking of smells, if you want to smell like a cupcake all day, maybe you want to take a tiny little bit of some body mist or something. If it comes in like a big bottle, maybe you could get a tiny little empty bottle and put that in there so that you can take it with you. Now, if I'm gonna be wearing a wig before I go out, I usually take some kind of either ibuprofen or Advil beforehand, because the weight and the pressure really affects me. I'm just very sensitive to any kind of weight on my head, so that is a necessity. Otherwise, I get really bad headaches. I also have one of these little packet things, yeah, just in case. No one wants to be out and about with a really bad headache. Speaking of pills, if you're going somewhere that has a lot of nature, a lot of trees and stuff, and you know that you have allergies, it's probably best to take a pill for that ahead of time also, because if you go, you're just going to be sneezing, and any headwear you have is just going to, you know what it's like when you sneeze with all this stuff on your head. It's not fun at all. Now, this might be a little bit excessive, but you never know when you might need it. A little thing of tissues is always helpful. If they're cute, you know, you're gonna always want them with you. So always take some cute little tissues. And also Band-Aids. You never know when you're gonna need them. Now, these two things might be some of the most important things on this list: bobby pins and safety pins, because they will save your life. And if they don't save yours, there's a good chance that they will save some other Lolitas. So if you're going to a meetup, it's always good for someone among you to have some on hand. These little Tide2Go pens are magical. Before I ever bought them, I wasn't sure if they actually worked or not. Obviously, never tried them. But the time came that, oh my god, this would be really helpful if there was a magic marker that could suddenly whoosh away the stain. And it did. It's quite amazing. It leaves a wet spot behind, so if you know that your print is like old school AP and you know that it's gonna run the instant it gets damp at all, maybe not, ask around. Now let's assume that your dress isn't just gonna start melting the instant it gets a little bit of water on it. If it's really hot outside, you might want to take a little bit of water with you so that you can spritz yourself a little bit, you know, on the neck, on the arms and stuff, just to help cool you down. And in addition to that, what happens when you wet things and you put air on it? Yeah, you feel a little bit cooled down, right? So a fan that matches your cord. Obviously this one I don't think matches mine at all, but that's besides the point. If you can get a fan like this that matches your dress, then I would definitely invest in that, because one, it's cute, and two, it is very helpful. I don't know if this is really appropriate for me to say or not, but we're all human, and if you are a female, even if you're not expecting, it's still always a good idea, I think, to bring tampons or pads, whichever, just in case. Because again, maybe you won't need it, but someone else will get, you know, very unexpected moment, and they'll need it. We're a community, and we should aim to always be looking out for each other. Something else I've also heard of is people bringing little sewing kits with them, which definitely makes sense, and I can see how, like, especially if you're at a con, that would be very helpful. I've even heard stories where, you know, you put on your brando and the button just goes popping off, and that's no fun. What are you supposed to do then? Steph over there, she's got a sewing kit. Another thing that is really helpful is sock tape for your OTKs or just knee highs in general. It'll keep them from rolling down. I've yet to try it myself, but I've heard that it does wonders. So let's go ahead and move on to other things like a notebook and a pen. I think it's always a good idea to bring some form of paper and pen. It can be a little memo book or something. It doesn't have to be anything big. If you happen to like journaling or doodling, you know, it's a very easy way to pass time, other than looking at your phone and playing games or something. Also, it might be easier if you're at a meetup and you want to write all these girls' Instagram names down or something. It's probably easier to write it down by hand than type it all in your phone at once. Reading material is also very effective for passing time. Now, for me personally, I have everything I need on here. I have a lot of books that I read on my phone, but it still doesn't compare to holding the physical thing in your hands. And I think depending on what you're wearing, there's something aesthetically pleasing about matching it with what you're reading. Is that silly? It's definitely silly, but I think it makes sense, and I think a lot of Lolitas would agree. If you are going to be out all day, I would suggest investing in a phone case that doubles as a battery charger. That way you can take it with you all day and not have to worry about plugging it in at any point. You know, because it wastes a lot of battery taking pictures, and as we know, Lolitas love taking their pictures. So yeah, I just think it's important that as Lolitas, or just in general, we're never left without a way to communicate or get a hold of someone just in case. And that about covers everything. Obviously, it's not really realistic to bring all this stuff with you, especially, you know, the Lolita purses don't generally hold that much stuff in them. So, but I think definitely picking and choosing things would come in handy. It's important that you bring things that you're gonna need. And sometimes it's really easy to forget what you might need. For me, myself, aside from phone, wallet, and keys, all I normally bring is a comb, some aspirin, and my iPod. And headphones, of course. So my tripod just broke, sadly, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I kind of feel like this video was rather unnecessary, but again, I just think it would be helpful for any new Lolitas just starting out. Just gives them a few things to think about. I'll probably make more videos in the future after I solve this whole problem. I don't know what about yet, but I want to try and cover topics that aren't really talked about as much on the YouTubes. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, until next time, bye.